All right, and it's time to get started. Let's just check. Can you hear me, Emily? Great. Okay, fantastic.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, great. So we're here for the first Web3 gaming demo day in quite a while. And there have been many exciting developments when it comes to Web3 games on Cronos. And so we thought it would be a good time to take stock of what's out there and also make it easier for everyone who hasn't tried the latest games to get onboarded. So the goal of today's stream is really to review 4 games with 4 project founders, go through a quick intro of each project, demo, and then take your questions and feedback. If you'd like to ask questions or give feedback to the creators, there are 2 main ways to do it. The best way is to leave comments in the YouTube stream. Since we're seeing those comments in real time on the window that we have here for the streaming. Otherwise, you can also post comments on Twitter, and we'll be monitoring the Twitter feed below the post that contains this video. So with that, the lineup for today is first Croginal Cats with Chocopuff. Welcome. Next, we'll talk with Panda about deadbeat dads. Next, Charles with Interlude, and finally Ryan with Troopers Army, and more specifically CroDraw, which is the project that we're talking about today. With me, so each of them will introduce themselves and their project when it's their turn to demo. Meanwhile, I also want to mention that I have with me Emily, who's head of ecosystem development at Cronos Labs, and will be co-hosting with me.
Yeah, hi everyone.
All right. With that, let's start with Croginal Cats and Chocopuff. Over to you. Can you please introduce yourself and the project, and then you'll be able to share your screen for the demo.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you, Emily, and thank you, Ken. Thank you, Cronos Labs, for having all of us today. I feel like I'm in a room with like such legends here. Like I'm in a room with 3 other founders. I'm not the founder of Croginal Cats, but I am one of the main dev team members on there. So my role at Croginal Cats is working on design and also kind of project management. So just having an overall understanding of where the project's going, all our different sort of branches. So our project, Croginal Cats, I think the main goal for us is to kind of bridge that Web 2, Web 3 sort of element. And I think you'll notice, so when I show our game, it's a little bit different from, I think, typical Web 3 games. So ours is more focused on sort of like a Web 2 element, but has a little bit of Web 3 elements built into it. So our idea around that is basically around, there's lots of people who still need to be onboarded to crypto. And so through our game, you don't actually need to know what a wallet is or, how to connect or those sort of transactions. But it is going to give an introduction to the Cronos chain and give sort of a platform to kind of show all the different kind of exciting projects that we have going on there. And so when we first started, thinking about this project, it was, how do we get these cool projects into the hands of, people who don't really know what crypto is or, what the Cronos chain is. And so it's going to be, has our character, one of our, cute pixelated cats based on one of the NFTs that we've created. And this cat will get to kind of defeat all these different bosses that are representative of projects on the Cronos chain. So today, when I show you guys the demo, the first project is the Mad Meerkats, which is, I think, definitely part of the, the Crow fam history there. Our next boss, which is just recently kind of completed, is featuring the Croots. That have such a huge presence online on X. And then most recently, we've announced our third boss, which is going to be a crow with knife. So that's going to be implemented pretty soon. And then, throughout as we keep developing this game, we're going to continue to have more and more Cronos projects join on with us. Should I share my screen?
Great. Thank you very much for this intro. Yeah. So next up, let's demo the game.
For sure.
I'm ready to share your screen whenever you're ready.
All right. So let me get my screen shared. We'll go over there. You guys see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
Awesome. So just before I go on to the game, if anyone wants to actually play the game right now, this is how you can go to it. If you just go to our website, www.croginalcats.xyz, you can click on the menu at the top and then click arcade over here. And that'll take you to our arcade page. So on this page, just some, there's information about kind of like a little storyline, the different bosses we have. We are open to having different projects sort of sponsor seasons. And so that's the element where people can kind of, get their introduction into Web3. They can win prizes from playing. And then, just some rules over here that people can check out. But then if you want to play, you'll click play. Okay, so I'll go into our game. Let's see if I can full screen it here. Perfect. So this is the kind of menu splash screen for our game. And so when we were creating this, it's really sort of community involved. All of the art in terms and all of the sounds and music is all done by community members sort of working together. So we have a leaderboard built in. You can enter your Crow address here, and that's where we can distribute the prizes after every single season. So I'll click play. And so right now you can see we have our two bosses up. Ken, do you have a preference which boss you want to see?
No, I mean, Hellcroot is great.
Okay, so this is our most recent boss, the Hellcroot. So all of our bosses have, we work with the projects that are being featured. And so this one is based off of Dream QC's original NFT when he made the Croots X series. And he was instrumental in designing some of the boss mechanics here. So the game itself, let's see, it's kind of like a 2D sort of boss fighter game. So if you ever play Cuphead, that's kind of where we got the inspiration from. And kind of the theme of it is a little bit more sort of dark fantasy. So this takes place on a fiery volcano. And I might be a little quiet here because I need to focus on playing because the game can be kind of difficult. So you see bosses will have different mechanics that you have to kind of like navigate around. And the whole goal is to try to defeat the boss as quickly as you can. So we have a lot of different mechanics here that you can dodge and you can hit. And I died. It's hard to talk when focusing on this at the same time. But that's kind of the idea behind the bosses. And so we'll have 9 bosses in total, and each of them will have sort of a time limit here. And how the game works is the top 5 players in every season will be rewarded a share of the prize. I'm going to show you guys the other boss too, just so we can have a look at what it looks like. So this is the Mad Meerkat. This one's actually based off of Mr. Hoddle's NFT picture. So over here, your controls, WASD, there's a space bar to jump, you can dodge, and then you can attack. We also have mobile controls for this as well. So if you're playing on your mobile device, you can do that as well. So you'll see that this boss has different mechanics compared to the other one. This one does a little bit of a spit attack, digs underground as well. Have to dodge that. And the goal, of course, is to try to beat this boss as quickly as you can. And, the way we kind of designed this game, right, we want to have like a very easy entry point. Like the concept is pretty simple to do. But there is definitely a high skill ceiling because we can have some community members, I think, who've played this. Their best time is 16 seconds for this boss in our last season. And it's always interesting to see like the little tricks that players have figured out when they're playing your game, right? But yeah, that's kind of what the game's going to be like. And so hopefully, we'll continue to add new bosses and continue to have different seasons where people can win prizes and to bring more eyes on the Cronos chain.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot for the demo. I'm checking if there are questions.
Mm-hmm.
So no questions. There's a feedback from Visit who says, I played for hours and couldn't beat the first boss once. So you're alone, unsuccessful attempts to succeed.
Yeah, it's definitely can be pretty difficult and pretty hard. But I think, it's kind of also a throwback to the games that we played when we were kids, right? I'm like 36, and so when we were playing back then, there were no easy ways to change the difficulty for games, right? You either had to beat the level or you lost and started at the beginning. And so that's kind of the theme we wanted to give to it, and also kind of based on games such as like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, right? These games are kind of notorious for their difficulty. So yeah, that's kind of our plan.
Great. And so you mentioned that it's playable on desktop and mobile.
Yeah, so it's based in a web browser, so you can access it on both. Our goal for this, I think, eventually is to get this on the App Store and Play Store, and so that's something that we're working towards.
Okay, and finally, can you recap how rewards work and what users can expect in that respect?
Yeah, for sure. So our rewards work for different seasons, right? And so with the first season just ended, and we, as our first season, we provided the prize pool for that. So the seasons last 2 weeks, and the players will continue to play and try to have the top 5 times. So in that place where you can enter your address, you can put into your address there, and then at the end of the season, we'll look at the top 5 times, and we'll distribute the prize pool to those addresses. They just have to, since they put their address in, we just kind of send it directly to them. And so, I think in that sense, it's kind of our kind of step to get people who may have never, been into like Web3 gaming to kind of do that, because they might be like, oh, how do I win a prize? And so we're going to be creating some, some videos, some tutorials on how to get the DeFi wallet, how to get that all set up so we can send people their prizes, but it's not a requirement to play our game.
Yeah, that would be definitely helpful for new users, like especially. Actually, there's one question from the audience. They ask when Wolf Boss.
when the Wolf Boss. Oh, does this guy know something? Maybe I'll be dropping some news soon.
And I think there's another question from Visit. Have we thought about adding shadow runs to the game? By shadow, I think he means like training runs, or
yes, I think by shadow runs, what he means is that like in most racing games, right? If you have a time, you can have like a a faded image of that time that you're trying to beat as you're trying to go into it. I can definitely go think about that a bit. I think that would actually require quite a lot of like data to store, I guess, like every one single shadow run, and especially if we don't have a way to connect it to people as well. I don't know, but that's a good idea. I mean, we can definitely look into that.
Okay, great. Short. That was short, sweet, and efficient. I think the game lends itself well to demos as well, because it goes so quickly.
It's because I'm bad.
All right. So I think you've already stopped sharing your screen. Thanks a lot, Chocopuff. We'll get back to you if there are any further questions later. But awesome. For now, we can move on to the next presenter. So that's Panda with Deadbeat Dads. So Panda, same for you. Please, can you introduce yourself and the project, and then we will move on to screen sharing.
Sure. Thanks everyone, and thank you, Ken and Emily. So my name is Pandalaki, or Panda for short. We created Deadbeat Dads a couple years ago to bring fun and laughs back to Cronos. While we were going, everyone was really upset and unhappy, and really a very small project that has now come into GameFi, where we are utilizing our Deadbeat Dad theme with something that I'm also very passionate about, which is sports, and particularly fantasy football, and that's American football. So we have a few collections that are run that theme with Deadbeat Dads, which is Trophy Wives and Teenage Dirtbags. And ironic, the name is ironic. I'm actually a great father to 4. It's just that we are all spending our time here on crypto, and rather than being better fathers to our kids or mothers. So it's more irony and to have a good laugh to make this fun again. So it's been a great experience. I took the leap, and it just going down that rabbit hole, and it's been a lot of fun to here we are today. And I can introduce our game. Our game is Deadbeat Dads Fantasy Football. Like I said, it utilizes our Deadbeat Dad theme, which you can see in the background here. And what I'll do today is show you our DApp and how to enter a lineup. We have officially kicked off season 1 this week. It's going to start November 3rd, and lineups have officially opened to be submitted actually yesterday. So this is, very fresh, very new. And I think people are starting to learn what to do, and hopefully people here can learn how to buy and get their NFTs and enter the lineup. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen.
And we can now see your screen.
Okay. All right. So here is the homepage. You can type in fantasy football on Cronos. If you just Google it, we should be the top result. And the front page gives you a lot of information just about the game, the payouts, the NFT collection, a very short synopsis on how to play, and links to our Medium. So just a good overall summary of what it is. And a lot of our site is public, but when you connect your wallet, you can head over to the dashboard. What I'll do is I'll just show you the draft page. So on the top right, if you hit draft up there, you can start minting some players. And you can mint up to 20 players per wallet. So I wanted everyone to get a chance to mint their players rather than have someone just mint a bunch and take all the good players. What's cool about this and what's different about the way we set this up is that NFTs are built just for one season. I found a lot of GameFi in the past. It sort of just became stale with the players or users holding the best cards. And so I really wanted it to refresh and really mimic how it is in fantasy sports, where each year, probably the best time of the season is when you draft your players. And so minting sort of mimics that, where you are minting your players and you get the best chance to get one of the best players out there. So that's one way to do it, to get player cards. And then you can also hit up secondary marketplace on Ibiza's Bay. It's already set up there, and you can search by stats, positions, particular traits. What's really cool is I really try to give this game some more substance by creating very funny fictional team names and player names as well. So I hope everyone enjoys that. And what's also really cool is that we have a sort of insight into different teams, a little bit of a story and funny reputation that you can check for our National Fat Guy League, is what we call it, the NFGL. So there's 32 of these fictional teams. So once you have players, you can actually go over to the dashboard and connect your wallet and go to the dashboard. And each week your users or managers are going to have to set a lineup. So we're going to do that real quick right now. Lineups are set for a deadline of Saturday at 11 p.m. UTC. So each week, managers will have to make sure they hit that deadline. And to submit a complete lineup, you will need one NFT at each position. So once you click one of those boxes, your NFTs will populate in this window here, and you can select your best one for that week. We've built in a schedule with the NFGL where each team, like the Charlotte Chickens, would play a certain team, like the Pensacola Pelicans. And each team is also a home and away. And that correlates to some of these stats, and that's going to be part of the formula for getting your points. I'm not going to go into detail about the formula for the sake of time, but just know that there's more to it than just the stats here on the NFT. There are ranks against each position, and depending on what team your NFT is playing against and what position they are, it will impact your scores for that week for that position. So you just select one here. And very simple, very quick and easy. We didn't build a game where you have to grind. Or it seemed like it was a task. We wanted to build something that was easy for users or managers to check once a week, put in more time if they wanted to think about more of the strategy and the matchups, which is, in my mind, a lot easier to onboard people and to keep them entertained. And so you can also add here trophy-wise. So each position must be filled, but we have an option where we utilize one of our old collections where every athlete, if they have a trophy wife, will get a 2% boost to their position score. And so you can add a trophy wife. Here I have a lot in my wallet here, and that will give an extra boost to that player's score. And once you filled all of that out and hit submit, you should see a green text that will say that you have submitted for the week. And if you ever want to go back and to check that your lineup has been submitted, sorry, it's a slight delay. You can see here it says your submitted lineup for week 1. Matchups come out every Sunday morning. For me, it's 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 11 a.m. UTC. And that's when you're going to see who you're randomly matched up against. So that's how you submit a lineup. And what I want to explain more is about the game. There's 13 regular season weeks. So managers will do this for 13 weeks. And then what will happen is the top 32 teams will make the playoffs. And we have a standings page. Right now it's not filled because we don't have a first week, but this is what it would look like if you all can see it. It will show the top 32 teams, the managers, how many wins they have and how many points they have for the regular season. And then the playoffs page or tab will also show what are the potential matchups at that moment in the regular season. So that will keep track of all the teams that are playing, all the managers that are submitting. What will happen is for each week, sorry, I'm going to a matchup page. Let me see here. So this is what scores will look like when they come into their matchup page. And matchups start.
There might be either some lag or a pop-up, because what we see now on your screen is just a week 1 matchup with the 2 characters.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, the video wasn't showing, but essentially I can't show a matchup score right now because we don't have a week and the matchups aren't out yet till Sunday. So let me stop sharing there.
So now you're not sharing anything now.
Yes, sorry, I'm going to start.
Oh,
can you see this now?
Yeah,
okay,
you're back on.
All right, sorry, apologies. I forgot I was sharing the web page, not my entire screen. So this is what a matchup would look like essentially when the scores start coming out. You would see your team versus the other team, and then each points for each position. Now we added some drama where each position scores come out every hour, starting at 1 p.m. UTC to give it a little bit more drama. And if you score higher than your opponent, you get a W or a win. And I do apologize. I forgot that the standings page probably wasn't also showing, but the standings will show you the top 32 teams, as I mentioned, and you'll be able to see where you're placing. And I think over the course of the season, the competitiveness in this game will increase. You'll see a lot of data with your points, your positions, and over the course of the 13 weeks, I think it's just going to get more and more competitive because at the end, 70% of mint funds for players and users go back to the top 32 teams. And so the goal is to really bring people who want to play the game a very good prize bag at the end. 20% of the mint funds goes straight to the first place person, 10% to second, and so on. And you can find that payout on our website. So it's a different game where NFTs are just a one-time use for the season. The season lasts 18 weeks. Managers submit their lineups each week with the NFTs that they have. It's based on a formula that incorporates stats, luck, and some strategy. What we try to mimic is that in real fantasy football, you have players that you may think are the best players, but there's a lot of luck involved with fantasy football, and you don't necessarily win. You may have the best team on paper, but that doesn't mean you're going to get a W. And so we really wrap up the sport, the game, and Web3 together to bring something different and try to onboard more users on Cronos that do enjoy sports as well. I did hear one friend who said that he had a buddy who joined just because he was interested in the game itself and how it works and how this is completely different than what he's seen before. So I know it's tough to show you right now since we're just entering our first week with all the different standings and everything and the matchups not showing, but it's just a very simple game where you utilize the NFTs and you can really try to set yourself up for success.
Great. Thanks a lot. That was very clear. Someone is is the skill gaming is asking, can I place bets on the games? I presume not yet.
No, you cannot. Of course, you could place friendly bets. Once your matchups come out with who your opponent is, I'm sure in our socials like Discord, you could always try to place friendly bets. In the future, we would like to incorporate sponsors for seasons where we can incorporate teams with jerseys of that particular project into the NFTs for that season, or sponsors even in the back of the NFTs to highlight and showcase different projects on Cronos.
All right. Emily, anything else from you?
Yeah, actually, I'm good. I just find the game very creative. I like the characters. And then there's one more question. Will the daddy token be utilized in the game?
Yeah, so we have a meme coin, who's your daddy or daddy token. We definitely want to incorporate that token into aspects of the game. So that's we don't have a specific plan for it right now. We wanted to make sure that we had the structure of the game and the game flow and the game correct, and then start figuring out what is the best utilization of the token into the game as well. Because we've all seen a lot of tokens decrease in value with GameFi, which then ultimately sort of puts them under, and they can't move forward. So I wanted to stick with Crow at first, and then find the best way to incorporate Daddy. We have plans to also branch out into other games. Of course, most popular being or soccer, football, basketball, even hockey. I think would be a really cool theme with our art.
Exciting. Yeah, great prospects ahead. So yeah, great to hear that those 18 weeks, this 18-week cycle is starting now. I encourage everyone to try it out. Thanks a lot, Panda. That was super helpful.
Sure thing.
All right, let's move on to Interlude with Charles. Thank you for joining, Charles. Same question. Please introduce yourself and your project.
All right, so hi everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm the co-founder and lead main developer for the Interlude project. The best way to describe our project basically is the one word that I'm sure you have heard a lot in the past, and maybe some of you have grown skeptical of it, but it's the concept of metaverse. That's the best description. Basically, the vision we have is much more gaming focused, if you want to define it. And the simplest definition would be kind of a RPG of everything. So the idea would be to have a kind of RPG or adventure game, but instead of being focused on one map or one world like most RPGs today, you would have it would take place on a kind of connection of many, potentially hundreds of different worlds or different games. So that's what we've been working on, and it's actually our second try. We've been working for a very long time on this idea. We had a previous version 2-3 years ago that was on BSC at the time, and it went quite far, but the project was pretty flawed in terms of game design, in terms of tokenomics. So we had to kind of take a pause and get back to work. And now we're coming back with a much better version. And this time we decided to launch on Cronos. It's for different reasons. We think it's a more a better ecosystem to do that. So I'm going to start with the game. All right.
And just to be clear, Charles, is that a game that people can play now?
So we're launching like next week. So it's yeah.
Perfect. So that's timely. Okay. All right. So let me add your screen to the stage. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So basically, okay. So there's a small introduction, a kind of animation where you're in your room and you like get into your computer, kind of like Tron, if some of you have seen the movie. So that's the idea. You're getting into your computer and like getting into this kind of simulation or network, and that would be the first world. Kind of the introduction. There's okay, so just a guy explaining you what happens, but here I'm here to do the explaining. So basically, how it works, it's basically like many different worlds or many different games, and they're all connected by portals that basically look like this. And it can be anything. So you just cross the portals to transfer to a different world. So this is just an example, and each world will have different. Okay, so this a problem. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so each world can be completely different. Each world has like 2 or 3 or many portals, and it's about exploring and exploring this way. So if you look, so here basically we have this is a kind of map, and the idea is basically to build a kind of open world RPG, except instead of being on one map, the open world is this kind of connection of many. So you can see it here of many different worlds, and and this is about exploring and going a bit like a normal RPG. You just go on some missions. There is a main storyline that is still a work in progress, but it's in the plan. Now that we have this connection, so this world with many maps. The question is, why would you? What's the purpose? Why would you go exploring? So, as I said, first there is a kind of main quest that is linked to a bit like Tron inspired. You're inside a computer and you have to find some place in the network. There's also of course it's a crypto game. So this is used as a kind of incentive, and I'm going to show. So pretty simply. Some of these maps will have treasures, kind of like this, and it can be. So this is like Crow token. We can. It could be like ERC20 or any kind of other token. So that's one part of the reward, and another.
Sorry to interrupt, Charles.
Yes.
Because what I'm seeing on the screen now is really frames jumping like from a wall to the floor to something else. Is it just because you're moving very fast on your laptop, or?
Sorry, what is you mean?
The image.
Because I was running maybe like this. It's the bob of the camera maybe.
Yeah, probably just because you're moving.
Okay, yeah.
The
running,
angle of view is
just
just moving
running
too fast. Yeah, so it's a bit hard to follow what's happening.
Oh, okay, because it's okay. So I should move more slowly. Okay, so yeah, you can we can work. Okay, so the second type of rewards is basically called crystals, and it's basically what is linked to our GameFi system. So they will be displayed here. How this works is basically the crystals have an energy income, an income in energy that you can collect, and this energy is used to unlock the worlds. So. Okay, I'm running again, but so for example, so you're going through a portal and you have to unlock simply, right? And and that's it. And basically, this is because since there are like financial, like crypto rewards, we have to limit the amount of maps you can unlock every day. So you can only unlock like a couple of maps, and this is built with the energy system. And the way this is a play to earn is because, okay, I'm going to show because these crystals, they are basically linked to a GameFi platform. So the idea is we have this bonding curve where you can like buy your token, and part of the when basically the crystals you find in the game will be shown on your, when you connect your wallet on our website, and they receive the basically the purchase from the bonding curve is sent back as an airdrop to your crystals. So basically they're kind of NFTs that bring kind of reward or passive income. And of course they can be bought. You can, like, the way you start playing is by staking unlocking these assets, these crystals, that will then show inside the game and allow you to go for the exploration. So that's basically the how it works. So I can show different games. So this, for example, was the game we made with a Croginal, so kind of collaboration. And okay. So here, basically, all you have to do is it's a bit buggy. Okay, so you just go and find these Croginal tokens. Let me go back. Okay, sorry, because of the music, I think it was hard to. So yeah, the rewards, just the loot chests, they can be unlocked in different ways. So sometimes they are like physical loot chests. They can also be like in-game missions or in-game objective. So for example, for the Croginal game, it's about like just collecting these Croginal tokens, and there will be some reward associated. And that's pretty much it. I can go a little bit further in the game to show how it works.
I don't think so. So because again, there's a lot of lag in what we're seeing, and like it feels like we're just seeing screenshots with no continuity between each of them. So I think when it comes to giving an overview of the game,
right,
that's good. But like the demo doesn't really render well on this stream. What might be helpful, I think, if I'm just reading the comments, is that maybe if you want to record like a full-fledged demo and take more time to make it polished, you can post that on Twitter, and we'll happily retweet it for people who want to follow up. But
right.
What we're seeing on the screen is not really working.
Yeah, it could be the internet or something. Yeah.
Because the game is too heavy, and I think with the streaming, it's too heavy for my laptop, maybe.
Okay, but yeah, I think we got an overview. Maybe there are some questions in the chat, which I'm going to ask in a constructive way, in the way that I think questions should be ideally asked. So the overall theme is about your project, your previous project on BNB chain. I think people want to understand a bit more, they want to hear. They want to hear you more about like the story of you leaving that project and then moving on to Cronos, and how they can trust that you're here to stay. So if you can talk about that a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw this the controversy on Twitter. So yeah, basically, we did the previous version was a completely different game. So it was still this idea of trying to build a metaverse, but with done in a different way. And basically, we made some mistakes, both in terms of game design and in terms of tokenomics. We launched much too early, and so what happened? Basically, we were like jumped on by speculators that jumped on our tokens, and so we had a kind of a very big pump. It pumped very hard to a very high market cap, like several tens of millions, and then it went back. After that, we realized that basically everyone, once you launch a token, like people will look at the token too much and not enough to the project you're making. So we thought that it would be basically we said, okay, we have to start over. We will come back with a new. We're canceling the token, taking and we will come back with a new project, a better product. Like we're coming back to work more. And with the new token, we will relaunch everything. And so that's basically what we said. And the idea is once we relaunch, we will send. We'll kind of airdrop the new token to your old investors, so that basically the project is still going on. It's still the same project. I don't know if it's.
Yeah, so I think it was just important to address and to give your version, and we appreciate that. Users can do with it what they want, and of course, we've seen many projects that have been, many projects have failed in the past, and many projects have also been overwhelmed by tokenomics that just didn't work.
Yeah.
And I think it's great to iterate. Yeah.
But I want to stress that because most of the project, basically when the tokenomics doesn't work, they just keep work, they just leave the project and they stop working. And I want to stress that we didn't do that. Like we kept working and we're coming back and we want to make this work for our investors. Like even 2 years later, we're still working on the project. So it's for me, it's rather like the ethical thing to do rather than just running and walking off the project.
Noted. Thanks. Emily, anything else from you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I think I'm good on this one.
All right, great. So thanks a lot, Charles. And I think again on the demo, probably worth posting something that's more polished, so we can see the whole character journey.
Yeah, I couldn't see what you were saying, so this was
you'll see on the this stream is recorded, so you'll be able to check it on when it's published. All right, and so last but not least, Ryan. So Ryan, you're the founder of Troopers Army as well as CroDraw. So I think for today we're talking about games, so we'll talk about CroDraw, but you can start by introducing yourself and your many hats, and then we'll move to the screen sharing.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. So as Ken said, my name is Ryan, fondly known to the Crow fam as Troops, and I'm the founder, owner, operator, general, everything for Troopers Army, and as you mentioned, CroDraw, which we're going to talk about a little bit today. And it's great to be up here with everybody talking about these games. And when Ken and I chatted, I did have to go and Google if lottery games are actually considered games, and apparently they are. So that's what we're going to get into and have a little chat about here today. I guess I could probably just jump straight into it, Ken. Troopers Army as a project has been on Cronos, pretty much since the beginning as an NFT project, and we've done a lot of stuff. For those who have been around, will know that. But one of the things that we were always keen to do was kind of try and develop something that our community and the wider community could engage with regularly, kind of on an ongoing basis, creating activity on the chain and also giving people an opportunity to win and have a little bit of fun. And so we played around with a few different ideas, and then we ended up on this very simple idea of just having a Cronos lottery, just an on-chain lottery system where you buy tickets every week. There's a pot there, and ultimately, like any lottery, somebody would win the prize. We wanted to give it our own little spin on that, in that we wanted to, a typical lottery like your big national ones, obviously the jackpots are huge and it's one big winner and a lot of other disappointed people. And so we wanted to try and make it still a lottery with a appealing jackpot, but also sort of more of a tiered distribution, so that there was lots of winners who got something and got that nice dopamine hit that they've put something in and they've got something back, great. But then also that kind of the winner as well. So we spent a lot of time thinking about how the distribution specifically would work, and how we would link it into Cronos, into other projects and whatnot. And that was kind of CroDraw. So I'll share my screen and just show it very quickly. It's important to say that, being a lottery, really fundamental that it was all on chain. That's kind of a real strong use case, I think, for the blockchain, for things like lotteries, where everything can be verified. So all the tickets are obviously just your transaction, your your token on chain, and the randomization is all done with using Witnet Oracle, who we kind of partnered with in the early days. They offered us a small bit of funding initially just to help us, kickstart and get going, and we still use the Witnet Oracle today. So let me share my screen, and I'll show you a couple of things. It's always difficult when you can't see. Right, I think I'll just share the whole window, might be easier. Let's go with the entire screen, see if this works. Yeah, you get the big portal. There we go. So just a quick rundown. This is just a quick recap. Just hopefully you can see this tweet here. We just put this out. It's pinned on the CroDraw account at CroDraw Official. Just a little recap. The CroDraw has actually been running on chain now for over a year and a half. We've done a draw every single week since it started. This number is actually over 90 now. And some of these prize distributions and things here will be slightly higher since this tweet went out. A big part of CroDraw is that a percentage of all those of the ticket sales generated goes to a small side charity, which I can touch on, or you can go onto the website and get all the information. So yeah, that's just a quick rundown. We also have a Medium article, which will give you a bit of information about CroDraw. I can share that out afterwards. Feel free to go and sort of check it out. It's on the pinned on the Twitter page as well, or X, sorry, should I say, and that gives you a bit more insight into just what the plan was and where we're at with CroDraw. For the benefit of time, we can just jump straight into it. So the actual lottery itself can be played at crodraw.io. When you first go here, this is what you'll be faced with. So we have this little character that our the Troopers Army developer made, this little guy here, so people have become familiar with him. And the homepage just gives you a bit of information that you can kind of read about. You can understand kind of what the Hearts of Gold and the giving back lottery aspect is all about. You can learn about the distribution. Here it is here. Again, I won't go through it all, but you can see how we have these different pots with a percentage and how it gets split between people. But the one big pot here to the winner. A little bit of information about Hearts of Gold. CroDraw is tied in a little bit into the Troopers ecosystem. It's completely open for anybody to play, just buying tickets using Cro. The Troopers have this we've got a non-monetized utility token that we've used in our ecosystem for a couple of years. You can burn that token to get a little bit of a discount. And there's also an NFT, which is an NFT that we launched a while back, which was all about raising awareness of men's mental health in the crypto space. It's called For My Brothers. You can get that in Obesis Bay. And holding one of those also gives you a discount on CroDraw as well. They look a little bit like this. For My Brothers NFTs, algorithmically generated, and they give you a bit of a discount as well. So getting into the actual lotteries, really simple, a couple of options on top. You connect your wallet up here. You can see that it tells me I don't have any tickets. Go to play now. The lottery is running right now. So the lottery itself runs every Wednesday, Wednesday to Wednesday, and is drawn at 11 p.m. EST. And you can buy your tickets at any point during that time. Usually at the end of the lottery, 11 p.m. EST, there's a gap of about 20 minutes, half an hour or so, while a whole bunch of stuff happens, and then the next draw kicks off straight away again. So when you come to this page, really simple interface. You can see here in red that it's telling me that a 10% discount has already been applied for holding my For My Brothers NFT. And if I wanted to, I could click here to burn 100 Troopers tokens to get a further discount on my ticket. Currently, tickets are set at 10 Cro, and you can go ahead and choose however many you like. You can also see down here a little running timer that tells you how long is left in the current lottery. You can see today's actually ends today, later on, and it gives you a little rundown as well of what's in the pot and the distribution at the highest level of what the winner is looking at and what's going to charity as well. Really easy. You hit buy, you'll get your MetaMask pop up here. I'm on full screen, so this is going to be horrible, and my computer might die. But I don't actually even know if you'll see the MetaMask pop up, so apologies.
We can, because we're seeing your whole screen.
That's okay. There's nothing in here that is too scary, but I will just go ahead and buy a ticket just to show the full thing. Hopefully, the stream doesn't get too laggy. If MetaMask plays ball with me here. Okay, sorry. So there you go. It's said the tickets were bought successfully, so that transaction's gone through, and then you can see up here at the top it says how many tickets I have, and then there's a redeem section here for when the lottery ends. Just there we go. You're still seeing my screen, okay? Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. So there you go. So it tells me I have 2 tickets, tells me I can buy some more, and it tells me when it ends. So at the end, when everything's said and done, when you come back into CroDraw, here it will tell you if you have any winnings. It will tell you, you know, congratulations, you've won 50 crore, whatever, and you can hit redeem and you can just collect it straight there and then, or you can leave it and just let that build up over time. Many of our players who play regularly have just got a little pot that sits here and they redeem it now and again when they want to sort of buy more tickets. And that's essentially another, you know, couple of small sort of things just to mention. We've recently introduced a sort of what we call the NFT side draw. So when you buy 5 tickets, you get 1 entry into the NFT side pot, and each week we'll have a different NFT that we'll typically go and pick up from across Cronos community, various different things. This week's one is actually a great one, and it's fitting with today's conversation because it's actually a full suite of deadbeat dads. So it's 5 NFTs, the full team plus the trophy wife. So 5 tickets gets you 1 entry into that. And then we pick a winner and that person gets airdropped the NFTs instantly. Currently, that's a bit of a manual process, but we've actually got an updated contract that we're about to drop, which is going to handle all that NFT aspect and the sort of 5 ticket multi thing all on chain as well, which is good. And a quick look at that. This is a very quick insight into work in progress of that new front end and new contract, where we've actually added a bit more in-depth results page, which kind of will show you your last draw results, your ongoing history, how many tickets you've spent, what you've won, what you've donated, all of that good stuff. And yeah, I think that's probably it. I wanted a quick run through. Let me stop sharing, I think. Apologies if I went through that rapidly, but it kind of is what it is. It's a Cronos lottery. It runs every week. It's open for everybody to play. And if anyone's interested in kind of sponsoring it on a weekly basis by adding an NFT to the pot, we can do that. We've also got the ability to add funds to the pot. So we've had projects come in the past and say, can we give you a couple of 100 crore to throw into the pot? And we'll kind of put a bit of sponsorship on our homepage and kind of let people know. So always happy to hear from other projects. Give us a shout and get involved with CroDraw. Happy to take any questions.
Yeah, it's very easy to play. I think I like it. And then only 5 tickets, you can potentially get a trophy wife. It's a good deal. Yeah, today's side draw is great. You know, we've known Panda for a long time, and we're big fans of the Deadbeat Dads and everybody else up here. But it wasn't even planned, because I put this up last week for this week's draw with the full suite, and then it just so happened we both got invited on today, so it's worked out perfectly. So get involved at CroDraw.io if you're interested. Gamble responsibly, also. Yeah, that's such a question, asking if a Web2 game is a Web3 game. I think anything connected to MetaMask would be like a Web3 game, but I will leave you to explain a little bit more. Sorry, I didn't quite catch the question. If you,
yeah. So I think the question applies to all 4 presenters actually. So probably we can go around and ask. So the question is, like, could you clarify for each of you? Is it a Web2 game that's not yet Web3, or is it already Web3? So we can go in the order of presentation, starting with Chocopov.
For sure. I would say like our game is definitely more Web2 based, but it gives you sort of like allows you to dip your toes into Web3, right? So for example, we're not asking people to connect their wallets. We're not asking people to have NFTs. And I think like there's a space, there's, you know, a use for both these types of games on this space, right? So ours is more focused on bringing people who are not familiar with the Web3 elements into it, because there is a space where you can, you know, type in a address and there is an ability to kind of win prizes for, you know, but the way that's kind of done is more of like sort of a manual sense, just like in any sort of, you know, traditional video game tournament. And that process is a bit more manual, which will, you know, we'll be releasing kind of information on how to set up that wallet and how to receive those prizes. But for ours, it's not built into the product itself.
Ours is Web3 based. You'll need the NFTs in order to submit lineups. each and every week, and then for us to also distribute prizes. Well, we did fail to mention that we did build the game where you won't require gas fees in order to submit lineups each and every week. We felt that that was very important for users in the game. And so really there's no cost in order to play except for the cost of purchasing NFTs in order to play our fantasy football game.
Charles?
You need a wallet,
Oh,
and
Charles,
I mean, for the rewards. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so our game is clearly Web3. You need a wallet, and to get the reward, I mean, it would be useless without wallet.
And finally, Ryan.
Yeah, I think I kind of covered it there. So yeah, CroDraw is entirely Web3 and on-chain, and important that it is, given that it's a lottery system. All the payouts, the rewards, everything is all visible on-chain, and kind of even more importantly for us, it's not just Web3. It's for Cronos. It was built here on Cronos for Cronos. When things have been slow over the years, we've been down to like a 20, 30 players. We've carried on playing here. We've had plenty of opportunity to build it and take it elsewhere. We've chosen not to do that. We're going to just continue building it out and trying to make it bigger here on Cronos as things grow again. So yeah, all on chain, and I think the new version is going to be great as well, with a couple more features added in. So yep.
All right. Anything else from you, Emily?
No, I think it's a really good session, and welcome everyone back next time to discuss the friendship with Ken. I mean, people really interested to have a friendship with you, Ken.
All right. There's a question about Interlude. Sorry, this one. What's the game engine that you're using?
Okay, so this is Unity for the moment, but the way it's designed, we could have more different engine, because this is like, it could be a launcher with different games. So we hope to, I mean, the hope is that we will be able to integrate Unreal Engine maybe in a couple of weeks or month.
And the question for Panda. Thoughts about expanding your game to use other projects' IPs?
Yeah, for sure. I mentioned how in the future we'd like to incorporate other projects and create sort of different maybe tiers of sponsors, and one of them being a particular team in Jersey, whether, if it was Troopers, let's say. We actually already have a Dallas Troopers, but it's more like state troopers kind of thing. But we would have a jersey. I would create a customized jersey for those projects who are interested in the future. Definitely, for sure.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I can definitely tell like you're a sport friend.
All right, so I think we've covered it, and we are at time as well. I'd like to thank you for joining. So the presenters, Chocopuff, Panda, Charles, and Ryan, thanks a lot for your time and for preparing those demos, and thanks to everyone who attended. Thanks, Emily, as well, for co-hosting with me. It's great to have you. So we have a few more streams like this one, planned in the coming weeks. So if you watch this stream and you feel strongly that some projects should be featured, please tag them on Twitter, and based on popular demand, we'll make sure to adjust the lineup accordingly. I'm really glad to see that all the excitement around games is paying off. So thanks a lot again, everyone, and time to play now.
Yeah,
Bye.
see you next time.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.